It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Here's your host, Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. You are waking up and it is Friday. We've got rain chances out there once again and some muggy conditions to talk about as we head into the weekend. But we made it to the end of the week and we are talking additional chances for rain and storms in the forecast. Many of you have already had more than 2 inches of rainfall over the last several days. So it has been active across the Ozarks, to say the least, muggy and stormy. And I think more of that will continue as we head into at least Saturday morning of this weekend. And then Sunday does look like a completely dry day in the forecast for a change. We've got morning rain showers on the radar this morning, though. Those are going to clear around midday. Now, some thunderstorm activity possible in a few of those. In terms of severe weather, I think the biggest risk for us with this round is going to be just too much water in a few locations. We've got this stationary boundary across the region, allowing for more rainfall, widespread at times, moving through early today. We've got additional chances for some rain and some thunderstorms in the forecast as we head into this evening. And then overnight tonight, our last round of rain for at least a couple of days. And then we get a little bit of a break late in the weekend into the early part of next week. But rain showers today, they should clear the radar this morning. The rain looks fairly widespread. So keep that in mind as you head out the door. You may be dealing with some rain showers slowing you down. Take it slow. There's going to be some ponding on the roads. We've already had a few places reporting a bit too much water. So keep that in mind. Low-lying spots, places that typically fill up a little bit faster, well, you're probably going to have some high water out this morning. So I want flooding to be in the back of your mind. Also, if you have any weekend plans, I mentioned yesterday, anybody planning to camp or float or be on any of the area waterways this weekend, big heads up for you folks. I think that will be a concern. The water's going to be up. We had, as I mentioned, already more than 2 inches of rain in spots. We could put another inch on that today. And that's just a lot of water in a couple of days. So be mindful of that if you are going to be out enjoying some of our nice outdoor recreation here in the Ozarks. We've also got slightly cooler temperatures in the forecast for the weekend. In fact, today, I think this morning rain and cloud cover keeps us down in the upper 80s in a lot of places, near 90 for some, but it's a whole lot better than those heat index values near 110 that we had just 2 days ago. So a slight cool down. We'll enjoy the drop in temperatures, upper 80s today, but I think low 90s in the forecast for both Saturday and Sunday. Also, more storms in the forecast. Another round possible late overnight tonight. I don't think this impacts the weekend forecast too much unless you're going to be outside camping tonight. Something to keep in mind. This next round of thunderstorm activity, it's going to move through pretty quickly. I think late overnight tonight into the early morning hours of Saturday. And then most of the day on Saturday is actually dry. So you can head to the lakes, go outdoors, enjoy the summer-like weekend that I have ahead for you. Next week, by the way, I see that big ridge of high pressure. We often talk about that heat dome in the summer. That builds back in and takes back over. It's been out there in full force, for much of the South. Heat in Texas has been making headlines for weeks now. Well, that big ridge of high pressure looks to expand north a little bit into the Ozarks. So I think by the middle of next week, we're talking once again, potentially triple digit heat values with actual temperatures hitting 100 degrees again, potentially by the middle of next week. So it's something to look out for. Drought monitor, just so you know, they're always released on Thursdays. So we'll chat about it on Friday. I didn't see much change in this, but it does not account for all of the rainfall that we had so far this week. So I think actually next week in the drought monitor, we're going to see big time improvements, especially up in central Missouri, because we've gotten 1 to 2 inches of rainfall already. We could see another inch or two. And that widespread rain should start to help green the grass up a little bit. And hopefully that'll set us up for a better week next week with that big ridge of high pressure moving back in. So the forecast, well, for today, the temperature looks a whole lot better, 88 degrees for that high temperature. We've got a south breeze in the forecast today. As I mentioned, I think the skies begin to clear around midday. And I think that we hold on to that small chance for storm Saturday morning. Then the rest of the weekend is going to be dry. We're dry through the early part of next week. And then we really start to see the heat build back into the region. We're talking temperatures near 90 degrees again by the time we get to late in the weekend, near 100 by the middle of next week. So heat and humidity, they are back in full force. All right, time for the brain twister question for the day. And this one, well, it has to do with music history. So many of you, I'm sure you know this song. It's probably playing in your head as I read the question. Who recorded the Thunder Rolls before Garth Brooks? And the options here were Tanya Tucker, A, B, George Strait, C, Johnny Cash, or do you think it was actually a trick question and that Garth did it first? Well, the answer is actually A, Tanya Tucker. I saw many of you making comments there. So, yes, it's a cover, The Thunder Rolls. But of course, Garth made it famous. And now we're all gonna have that playing in our heads as a soundtrack for the rest of the day. Real thunder may take over though, because we've got some storms out there this morning. I'll leave you with the question that I will answer on Monday. This is the brain twister question for early next week. Which of the following town names actually exists? Which one of these places do you think you can actually find on a map? Do you think it's A, Achoo, B, merry-go-round and round, C, St. Louis do ha ha, or D, just passing through? Which one of those is on a map? Have you been there? Let us know. I will have the answer for you early Monday morning. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Thank you for joining me on this very first week of the Wake Up Weather podcast. I am so happy to be here with you. If you need weather through the weekend, make sure you check out the website aroundtheozarks.com. We've got you covered there, and I will chat to you with you on Monday morning.